inside of Neox Factory, and it sets the pace, right? Who's going to be able to get maybe a 20 elimination bomb right from the get-go is going to set you so far apart from the lobby. Rondo, as it replaces Sanok, has been such a big impact in the esports scene, and you know what, Seven? I'm loving every single second of those Rondo matches.
The amount of eliminations that you are going to be able to achieve, and on top of that, if you do end up winning the match, it's going to set you up perfectly, like you mentioned. It's just a trampoline to the top, and it gives you a bit of a cushion when we end up going to Erangel if for some reason things don't end up working out. One thing that I do want to point out that we were seeing, especially during the league stage, has been squads that maybe don't end up winning are able to achieve. Sometimes we end up seeing 4 teams with 10 or more eliminations or in the high single digits. I think that's a very impressive thing because sometimes we see those teams exiting in 9th place, but they're still able to clutch up. And I mean, we're looking right here at the PMGC program, Jukes.
Yes, so you can take a look at it, guys. So this is all the times that we got going on. We are in the grand final, so make sure you set your clocks and you are ready to go because we got today, tomorrow, and one more day after that, and then that is it, guys. So, man, Rondo is crazy. I'm so excited for Neox Factory in particular because my big thing is this. Why not we just see like a crazy amount of squads, just do that 3-1 split right down the middle, and just make things happen here.
We have.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've seen it, and chances are they're gonna do it again. It's been really successful.
How many squads do you think we're gonna see?
Oh, if you have to vote, I mean, like 8, possibly. 8 teams dropping over there could be a possibility. I mean, one team that we know is definitely super keen to doing those hot drops, right? I think it was APG. They started leaking a little bit away from their typical drop location. Now going over there, not really fully involved, but if they can get an elimination hand there for free, why the hell not?
I mean, the crowd is lively right now, right here in Bangkok, Thailand. They're ready to see some hot drops, and I'm personally ready to see some hot drops. And I'm ready to see some of these squads not taking a chance for it. Something that you did mention just now, Max, that I want to kind of deep dive a little bit more into. Those 3-1 splits, they do have to be able to adjust for some of these squads. And look at this. This is something that I want to keep a close eye on.
Yeah, absolutely, Max. Look at that. The 2 teams that we saw battle it out last year. D plus Kia versus Regnum Karia, Max. That's going to be a big battle for sure.
One of the biggest rivalries here, possibly in PUBG Mobile esports ever. D plus Kia and Regnum Karia, the island finish on Miramar. They will be going down in PUBG Mobile esports history. And now, Regnum Karia back with a vengeance. They have Z-Wolf on the team that's just been a stellar player for this squad. But we know that D plus Kia, as the reigning champion, 7, they are coming in hot. They're looking confident as ever. And they want to be the ones to take it back-to-back, just like Nova Esports a few years ago.
And for D plus Kia, it's going to be that factor of eliminations. You can't just rely on the MVP for PMGC 2024 in regards to Nobu. You got to have that backup that Osal is able to provide for the squad. That has been a huge addition. And even though they've been in the same roster, I mean, throughout this tournament, Osal being able to secure those eliminations, being able to clutch up for the squad when they actually need to, I think that's going to be very impressive.
Well, you know what? Speaking of impressive, right? One team that we got to talk about is APG. They weren't that impressive during the gauntlet, but come Group Green, this team went out of their minds, Max.
0 wins gauntlet. The prank is real. Group Green, now we mean business. 4 chicken dinners, 113 eliminations. They were coming out so hot here. And especially one thing that was very nice to see, 7. We've seen Doc playing a little bit more with the team, but Top in particular, his Mini 14 is just, what the hell? This guy was locked in. It felt like he had a times 20 scope on this weapon sometimes.
If APG wants to be, that's going to continue to be the factor for them. Top needs to be able to keep on putting those performances. You just mentioned it too. Doc needs to make sure he stays with the team. And for this squad, I just want to see them continue to play close together because they haven't really been able to in previous tournaments. Right now, especially in groups, we saw what was able to happen, and boy, the points just speak for themselves.
Yeah, they also have a past MVP right on the team in Ziol, and also Top that has been a PMGC MVP before, and you know what? Can he claim the throne once more this time around? Look at his stats. Having anything over 2 average eliminations in a PMGC lobby is pure madness here, Hot Jukes, and he does it here.
Unbelievable. Those are the average, of course, among the gauntlet and the group stage. And if you guys didn't see the announcement on the Instagram, they're giving away a Porsche Cayenne to the MVP of this tournament, Max. My question is this. If one of the team's players actually gets it, do they share it with the squad or do they keep it for themselves?
I talked to some teams that said we're going to share it. That's why I'm happy I'm not a player. We're like, hell no. It's mine.
Yeah.
It's my Porsche Cayenne. Okay, I'm keeping it. Though one of the contenders here, CEO in this head-to-head, man, from Turkey, he stepped up massively during his stage.
I'm looking at top. As a dad myself, and as top, the way that he's been able to perform, I'm making sure I want to not just secure the 500K that you get for winning the championship here at PMGC. I want to get that new whip, you know? Get that car seat in the back. Let's go for a ride.
Go for a ride, indeed. It was so crazy. We were actually talking to Alpha 7 too, right? And we were talking to Carrillo.
Yep.
And it was like, all right, yeah, you know what, Rebel, one of them win the car. I'm driving it. I'm driving the game. You know what I'm saying? You got to hit those rotations all day long. And those rotations we're going to see big time coming up, right? So we got Rondo, we got Erangel, and then we got a couple matches of Miramar, right? Man, what other squad, Max, right? Besides the teams that we talked about, are you really excited to see here today?
I'm very hyped for Team Flash, right?
Yes.
Barely qualifying in the last game, thanks to a literal loot crate just coming out of nowhere,
Yes.
dropping from the sky, saving tops, and you know what, able to clutch it up in the final moments, getting a backstab play onto GK and able to qualify. They are my rookie team, not just of PMGC, possibly of the entire year.
Yep.
If they could do the entire run here and actually win PMGC, that would be one of the best storylines for a rookie team
Yep.
ever in this esports.
Yes, well, guys, let's get this all started and take it on over to our casters, John Allen and Blake.
Hey, thank you so much, Hot Jukes, Max 7. We are set. We are primed and ready for Rondo and the rest of PMGC. The grand finals are here, and it is going to be messy, we think, on these first couple of minutes. So make sure that you stick around, because there's plenty of action.
It's definitely a question of whether we're ready for Rondo or not. I don't think I'm ready for Rondo. I don't think you're ready for Rondo. I don't think the players are ready for Rondo. I think it's going to be an absolute slobber knocker over on Neox Factory, but maybe not quite as intense as we saw in Last Chance. I think we saw in Last Chance something rather insane. To be honest with the 6 to 7 teams that all dropped there, I'm thinking probably more or less 4. That's what we're looking at here. It's going to be around about 4 teams, but I think the boys are right. You know, dropping one player on the outside is a little bit dangerous now. I think teams are hunting those players down.
Absolutely. It is a question of where you put that last player, though, right? Because there's nothing that says you need to be anywhere near them at this point. You could go to literally anywhere as that 4th player. So, yeah, maybe you're hunting down those solos, but maybe you're going to be swiping at ghosts here, ghoulies coming on in, because those recalls work from anywhere on the map, Blank, and they will be available for a long, long time into this first match. You can see our players starting to get ready, starting to get prepped. The earbuds are finding the ear canals here, and that's exactly what we like to see as the lobby's filling up.
Man balls on our screens. A little bit of a rough entry to PMGC. But to be honest with you, once they actually performed over in their individual stage, pretty damn good performance, to be honest with you. I was very impressed. But I think getting there was the slight difficulty, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But once they're here, they were playing very, very well. Though I will say one thing is that for Alpha Gaming, as much as we hype up Alpha Gaming,
Yep.
we do need to look at that gauntlet. We do. We got to take a look at it.
Oh,
all
I'm
right?
looking.
We got to analyze that gauntlet. That gauntlet was, ooh, a little bit bad, right? A little bit bad. Group stage, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Amazing. Gauntlet, didn't feel great to watch. And I think that, like the boys were saying, it's 45% of the lobby, roughly, that got through in the gauntlet, right? So those are the teams you have to play up against. And I think that APG slightly struggles in a higher skilled lobby. I think they like to bully, honestly. I think they are a bully team. But there was such potential there in that group stage that there is the big chance for them to just strike out. But I have that worry. That worry is in the back of my mind.
Which of the 2 teams are we going to get? Which APG is turned up today to start things off? Because it is going to be stiff competition. All of the teams that qualified, you're right, bringing those gauntlet teams back in and bringing Vampire into the mix, that is sure to draw blood if you try and step to the fight on it. Rondo is getting locked and loaded, Blank. On our map feed right now, I am seeing the map, the lay of the land, arena, making sure that they are locked in. Our crowd is getting ready too, because the first match is on our doorstep.
10 seconds away till we start things and kick things off over at PMGC, the grand final here in 2025, Bangkok, Thailand. Let's get it done, John.
The plane is into the sky, glittering an omen of hopefully not death for most of our rosters, but unfortunately, if we're looking at where the playing path's going, it's going right over Neox Factory. Everybody who wants to go there will be going there. How many teams are going to be in this cage match?
We don't get a cheeky little double flame path, but you do love to see this straight down from Kunsia all the way to Dansheng Tinlong Garden. But you're right, it's Neox Factory. That's what's on the cards right now. All eyes on this, waiting to see the drops come through. Who's going to be challenging out for those early points? Because we know just how far those early points can take you.
Oh my goodness. There's so many teams already out over there. You can see a couple of teams not going for that. That's Alter Ego, Alpha 7, Mad Bulls, Ulf. Oh, hang on a minute, maybe. No, there are more Mad Bulls up there. Team Flash as well, not going to get stuck all the way in. And Thunder Talk Divert, they're not going to head on over, but plenty of teams still going there. And actually, a little bit of hot drop further south as well towards Dansheng. Seems like a couple of teams are trying to take residence there. This is maybe fewer than I thought would be right on the inside.
Yeah, I think that for down towards Dansheng, that's the sort of unexpected, right, John? You don't expect to be seeing that amount of teams down there, but to be honest with you, teams are just looking to get themselves into position anywhere they can. Potentially, this is just a little bit of an unfortunate drop, but you're sure that these teams, their coaches, will have communicated with one another. A three-man drop over here, Kara, Vampire, R8. Kara, a bit of a menace in the lobby, but R8 already takes a knock over towards Marth.
Looks like Vampire currently holding the central line of things. They do, I believe, have an outpost all the way south towards Tinlong Gardens. So they are playing as 3 in this one fully. Make sure that if you guys are watching, redeem those codes. It flashed up for just a second. That's all you need. You can scroll back and watch it after the fight because Red is going on in. Vampire stepping up the staircase, looking for the spray downs. Not going to connect on it, but does back them off. Tony K, in the meantime, has gone down. So Vampire need to find themselves together. They do have that res on the outpost, but they are starting to fall. And now it's just Miaola on the inside, looking to try and get the res onto Tony K. Without too many meds here, R8's going to charge forwards, look for the flush. Doesn't quite fully finish it off, but steps in, allows Mark to take up the mantle. Will not find the first shot, but steps on in and cleans house against the Vampires. They'll need to res. We'll see them in Tinlong, but R8 might be not long for it.
Oh, I mean, either on basically no HP, life support inside the building, but still rushing it down. Fair enough to him, making it happen here at PUBG United 2025. So cool to see a real mishmash of the two worlds.
And that is the first time that we're going to see Vampire in a fight here. And they will be taken down. Not great as a start. The RX, though, starting to chime in. On the fight, nice little spray down. Over towards Reefus. Doc now trying to hold his own. 2 players now alive for APG. Doc on the hot seat now. Playing up and along the ridgeline. Has to back off. Another player on an off angle. Kaikse makes his life all the harder. Now minimal HP. Trying to get the heal desperately, but the crushing force of DRX rolls forwards. He steps out into the fight. Will not find it. APG going down to 1. And those reses are already starting to come on through. Ziol already getting 2 of his teammates back up. And now he needs to bring Doc back in.
Yeah, no messing at all. For DRX, so easy, does make it look so easy at the start of the tournament against one of the most touted players in the game there over on APG. The Flash, I think that the boys on the desk, they'd be right. They'd be right in saying that this is the rookie team of the year. An incredible squad. With basically no, I don't want to say no emotions, but they were not nervous at all. Not a single shake in those hands. Not a single quiver on those lips. It was incredible to see. I think that, honestly, for the Flash, it's such a standout performance, such a breakout performance. You don't see this happen very often, and I think 2025 is a magical year just because of that alone.
I mean, you know, Max was saying over on the desk, oh, hang on a minute, Rosemary. He's got shots over towards Lemon. Doesn't finish the job. Oh, dear, that's going to get untidy potentially. Lemon, though, with a pump action, low HP, will be going down. If he isn't too careful about things, Rosemary stepping in, a shield comes through, Lemon hits the deck for the drop shot, stands for the challenge, Lemon giving it a really good crack there, but will be taken down. Rosemary able to win the challenge on that one. Alter Ego happy to purloin the point. Team Flash, though, look at a try and challenge and keep that Rookie of the Year title alive. Win knocked first in the EMP zone, blaring. over this fight as well. Will start to fade away. Chips backing them off with a nade barrage. I think this is... No, there's multiple players here from D+. They are going to try and fend off this fight, but with Win getting back up, ZS on a crucial angle here. Look at the lineup he's got. If they step too far forwards, he's just going to cut through them. There's no cover their way if they don't find it. The picture-in-picture blend is going on, but Chip storms forwards. Team Flash get one, get two, but they aren't really going to get too much of an answer. ZS behind the tree doesn't connect onto Nolbu. The two players from D+ on the top, they're going to have to stick this one out, but Osal's riding in. He's got that back angle. There's backup coming through for D+ here. I don't think Team Flash are going to last too long in this fight. The nade connects, but it is too little. It is too late.
Osal coming through there with a backup. Nice backstab from him. Will keep the team alive. Chips and Nova did a pretty good job, but again, that's why we do fear the Flash. They are a little bit dangerous when it comes to those close-range engagements. Can never really count them out. Bose is already getting down to it. Over towards Alpha 7. Mafioso takes a tumble. And they're continuing here, but Carrillo straight back into it. And the action just does not stop here over on Rondo.
Seemingly not. I mean, this is what we were expecting more in Neox Factory, to be honest, Blank, but it seems like everyone has come to their senses on that fight, not going to be engaging with it. Instead, they're taking the fight to stage 2, as they're all moving in and trying to get in around Neox Factory, around the area south of it, towards Yulin as well. Alpha 7, scrapping it out. I mean, this is on the north side of the circle, Blank, far north of Test Track, not quite up to the river just yet, but it is on the north side and inside the next circle. On that recall tower, Alpha 7 currently have control of the middle, and Team Flash really wanting to stay alive on this one. Win on the inside after getting recalled. Carrillo steps forwards, was a tall glass of an E-limp, and will be able to drink that one down. Carrillo clocks him out. Now there's one player left for Team Flash, and hopefully they can find themselves a recall. Tops moving very far out, might actually clash with Alter Ego there. As we hop on board now with DRX, again, they played from Neox Factory, winning the fight with APG. Now they turn their attention to Thunder Talk.
DRX, rough start for them over in PMGC. Looked very passive. And then we got a whole new side. Very much two-faced this team, where it's immediately came out swinging. Very aggressive in their group. And definitely dominated that lobby. See what DRX can get done here, because it will be nice for D+ to have a brother on the stage here at PMGC who can go toe-to-toe with them. D+ really has been that one South Korean team that you could rely on to do well on these global stages.
Oh.
Top is down, though.
And in the second fight for APG, they also take a dip early. Regnum Kaya picking that point up. Look, I'm not calling it this early, but this is not a good start for APG. We were asking, what APG are we getting today? For now, the answer is one that has stalled at the start. Hopefully they can make up ground in the rest of the match, because those recalls still very much possible as teams start to move on in. I was trying to keep track of the final player from Team Flash, Blank, but they went all the way up north, and I've lost track of them entirely. They're somewhere off in the far reaches of North Rondo, but the circle decides to go all the way away from them. We're heading back down south, so it will not be a Neox Factory finish.
We are denied that, sadly. But I do think for the guys over on D+, do need to make a bit of a rotate now, get themselves to a slightly better position on the map. They are rotating through over on that northeast side. R8 started out their game pretty well here at 3 E-limps. Now, going back to your point about APG, let's leave it.
Okay.
Let's leave it.
Fair enough.
You know, it's a worry in the back of my mind. It's the start of the day. I'll give it a couple of matches, right? Match 3, maybe we'll make a different call, especially here in this 3-day sprint. Can't waste any time here. Teams will get ahead, but it is interesting seeing this lobby, right? Way less eliminations across the board, because these fights take a long time to conclude, because you're going up against the best of the best, right? And they are not going to give you free wins. They are not going to give you free team fights. It takes time.
We're at 21 E-lims right now in the game. Let's see if we can rack up a couple more, because Krypton hops out. The spray downs from Alva on the back line, though. An Alter Ego roll in successfully. Eren has to duck down behind as he can't connect the spray downs. Krypton not really in too much danger from the nades. The high ground from Goat as well makes Eren's life so tough, and that is going to be a back off. Scarface likely to get flushed away, and we're now at the tipping point in this match, Blank. Teams are going to start to have no real accessibility to these recall beacons. So for Alf, this is a bad omen for their game. For this one, it's not looking super hot, as AE in the meantime, Alter Ego, racking up 4 elims. They don't take a casualty. It's much better on that front.
I mean, for Ulf, there is one final option left, and that is to swing far down towards the south side, John. There is still a recon beacon in play, but it is a long wrap that they need to make on the western side, and you've got to go through teams like Alpha Gaming, Mad Bulls. It's tough. It's real tough.
I think, yeah, Solus has actually broken out all the way northwest, very, very far. May have not even joined in with the rest of the roster, in fact. We'll see how they can make it in. Looking more towards the roadside. That is going to be a little name from Amori. He steps on a landmine, blasted sky high. Amori now with a challenge over towards Flip. Not bothered about Tulika, not bothered about getting that flush, but it's DXavier to chime in on this central location. They have got the angles, and the nade to steal the flush back into the grasp, into the pocket of R8, and they still want to maintain that top spot. Pusher playing on the back lines now. Doesn't really have too many players to play around with him. But APG are taking shots. You've got Mad Bulls starting to fall, with Vampire moving in on the south, with DXavier in a really important 2-2 split to their east. For Mad Bulls, they are not getting out of this one.
Yeah, they're locked in. I think for Mad Bulls, this is going to be a pretty slow start for their day, honestly. I think it's very hard to remove himself from the scenario. Once all the dust settles, it's likely Pusher goes down, but might pick himself up some points before he finally hits the deck, right? Just because it's likely he's going to be leaving this one.
I thought R8 had that completely under control, but then there was a cheeky little off-angle knock coming through over to one of the R8 players, and then a nade coming through from Pusher. He gets the flush. Alpha 7 now starting to sweep in through behind APG, not crashing fully, but it's certainly a threat. You don't want to let teams in that easily. APG now have to turn their attention. Maybe a chance to move this one back in. It's unfortunate for R8 Blank that they've lost 2 here. They could potentially still just about swing out southeast to try and get a recall if they want to invest that time. But there's so many teams that are going to be crunching in. I don't know how possible that's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, playing up towards the eastern side of this circle, it wasn't likely there was going to be many teams playing here, to be honest with you, with the terrain that was in play. So I think for R8, their problem there was taking a fight in such an open area, right? That was their big issue. There was so many sight lines coming down on this western edge. Alpha 7 makes the correct play. They swing straight past. Alpha Gaming can't really afford to turn around at this point while there's still players right in front of them. So the leapfrog is fantastic from Alpha 7, gets them ahead in the circle, gives them a really good point to actually hold out separate teams.
I'm very, very curious as to the thinking behind Lemon's play here. I didn't even realize there was another Mad Bull in this one, Blank. But he stepped up into the fight, and he's immediately gone down. There was an open recall beacon all the way to the southwest that he could have got the rest of the Mad Bulls back up. Oh, okay, they have managed to get everyone else back up as well. Okay, that makes way more sense. Hang on a minute. Need to keep track of these players a little bit better, because Tulika needs to keep track of himself, maybe. That's Prestige able to spray him down. A really good hold for these two. All right, happy to go for these nades. Another bouncer off the log pile. This is a little special trick shot, it seems, for Amori, as he pops another one in. Splintering it out, but doesn't quite connect on the second.
Amori just needs to hit one of these. I mean, they're so low already, and it's easy enough to do. Amori with the double, and now it's just down to Pusher again. So we're way back to where we started just a couple minutes ago. For some reason, Mad Bulls decided they were going to offer even more points through to R8, and R8 is only happy to oblige.
Hey, 8 in the name, 8 on the points right now. Great kickoff, but APG decide, you know what, enough is enough. We just want to get ready. We don't want this threat on the off angle. Pusher is still very much the last player alive for Mad Bulls, but could have an impact on this fight. So could Alpha 7 and the Outpost on the south side. Lazarus for Vampire. Doc trying to move in on the sidelines. We'll see if those third parties come into effect. The next circle's just about to pop as well. Tension on the western front. DXavier with the angles. Oh, Reefus. Oh, Reefus nades himself. But Prestige does go down. Top able to find that shut down. Now just the one player for the two teams. Look at a hold. Amori on the corner. Purportedly the best player on the roster. We'll see if he can live up to that tally. Pusher landing nades to the back line. Doc not stepping in just yet. Top now healed up, looking to move on through. The res is coming on in. Amori backs off, plays towards the shelves, plays towards the back of the warehouse here. A nade to thread on through, maybe land at the feet. Steps to the open door, wants the challenge. Calls him out, but backs back off immediately. He's given them the runaround. Has he been able to find it? Has he been able to hold the hold? No. will fall down, and R8 are the first team to go out completely here, Blank.
R8 leave, but they get quite a few points for the back of that as well. Now Pusher does live slightly longer than them. They are the first team to fall here over on Rondo, down to 15 teams remaining at the moment. Alpha 7 don't really want to deal with this anymore with Alter Ego from the distance. Pusher though, can't imagine he's going to be up for too long. But I've been saying that for quite a while. And he gets the first, and he gets the second.
Oh, he's looking for flashes too. Pusher on the door frame, but a sliver of HP now, and it is going to be APG bearing down upon him. One shot would do it though. There's damage. Oh, Pusher with 3 against APG. They cannot get in. The door is closed. And the clutch here for Pusher onto Skull. Low HP, but the nade's cooking already. He gets the heal off too, Blank. The nade through, but it's off target. Looking for more healing, and Skull has no idea what has happened.
Pusher almost with the 1v4 right now. Zol's cooking the nade off in the distance. Pusher drops the flashbang in hand, drop that stun grenade out, blind his target, and then he's swinging around the side here, John.
Oh, is he giving them the slip? No, Zol knows. He's already sprayed. The nade on the inside doesn't connect. Pusher has to hop back in now. Zol wants the challenge on the inside, on the corpses of his teammates. Look at a challenge. 8 rounds now, still in the chamber for Pusher, on the corner of the door frame. And Zol steps out wide. APG. A fumble. Blank. Which team have we got today? Answer me. We're not stopping now.
Almost a historic humiliation there for APG versus the Mad Bulls. But yeah, I mean, you got to grab that bull by the horns if you want to take it down. And APG was so hesitant with the way they played it. May as well have whipped out the old red flag there, because they invited that bull to charge. Go right now with Killer Joe up on high. Very nice position for him, but I think I'm more looking over towards Regnum Kaya. They did get the circle shifting away from that. APG's down as well. They couldn't really make the lead from that position. But yeah, the circle shifted back over towards Regnum Kaya. They had a very nice central position around about 10 minutes ago. Since then, they've had to move slightly down, but the circle moving northeast does give them another chance. Into this match.
We're aboard with Alter Ego now, very close to Vampire, a team they haven't come into conflict with for a little bit, Blank. They've been a little while, but we'll be all too willing to embrace them in this fight. Rocking up on the western side. They need to hold their ground here. Goat team sit above them as well, that high ground. Very, very dominant over this sort of area. You can see Killer Joe just up there on the peak. He's looking for Alter Ego. Okay, he's playing in the foothills. No one's taking shots at him just yet. Does have the backup on this side from the rest of the roster, which is why he can be so bold with these peaks, because you just can't do this.
I mean, it's such a funny position to see all these players in. Dropping the old emergency flares on the head as well. Love to see it. Sakura back in the picture. Usually we like to see Sakura up on these pillars, but this time around he's taking the fight over towards Kara. Rosemary hits the deck, and Killer's happy to pick up that first elim for himself. And a real troublesome target at the top of this hilltop, if you can call it that.
Yeah, absolutely. Recall beacons shut off now, Blank. No recalls possible. So for Goat team, these elims do stick. Alter Ego now backed really very much into a corner here as Goat team crunching in from the north side. Vampire swelling around the foothills here. Krypton and Alva for Alter Ego, 2 players remaining. Picture, scrap, Regnum Kaya having a real troublesome time. Alva, ooh, with the dice roll, nearly landing onto his head, but does manage to just about stay safe for a moment longer. Loxy for Regnum Kaya, and our picture stays tall against Ulf, but a big nade comes through. Vampire charge in, and it's a 1-2 punch. Good night.
Double nades across the sky there for both teams. Loxy does it again for Regnum Kaya. Comes through in those critical moments for the squad. Silas getting smoked out here. We'll try and pick him up, but it is sighting from Thunder Talk. The sitter himself. Because you better sit down if you're in the presence of this guy. What a crazy player he is.
E-Arena looking to hold on the south, well, more than hold. They want to push forwards on the southeast edge, but There are plenty of teams trying to stop that right now. Kara a little bit in the way. Less so with the knock seen to their south player here, CEO. Alpha 7, though, on the western side. Really difficult to get past on this ridge. I don't know how the Arena are going to be able to find their way through. They do need an opener. And the CEO, Elin, goes to Alpha 7. A lot of the teams who got stuck in early blank are down. We look at Regnum Kaya and Alpha 7, very much the teams now who remain with those slightly higher Elim counts.
Teams are definitely looking now for that chicken dinner, right? If you're DXavier, you've played the long game here. You are wanting a top 5 off the back of this game, and I think it's very likely that DXavier is able to make that happen. E-Arena as well has been fairly good on Rondo. They really do know their angles very well here. They know their terrain. Good shot towards Xing there from Wild, from Regnum Kaya. Will keep Thunder Talk at bay, but they will have to push through them soon.
On that south side, Alpha 7 fanning out. Lots of ground covered by them right now. But it's that western peak that is going to be, it's almost a vortex that's keeping these teams under on the western edge. And I think GOAT team have the most flexibility right now to try and break that vortex. But we'll see if they're able to do so, or if teams are going to extract value from them. Poser very much in danger right now. E-Arena are playing this slow, carefully, but it should work out. The nade posted in through the window. It's going to force him out of position. It should force him out of position. As Poser steps out wide, the nade's still on the inside, but he dodges that somehow. Goes down either way. Does that shutdown came from Paragin? I'm not entirely sure where that one came from, but the point goes to Paragin either way. And E-Arena lose a player, Joker, needing a res now. And if DXavier weren't going to get a top 5 before, they definitely are going to get it now.
Yeah, I think with DXavier, that's a great little bit of awareness around the map. Get the little knock, get the flush through, going down towards that southeast side. As much as they can damage these teams on the southeast side, the easier it gets, because it's going to be a long while before they have to turn their attention to this pillar over on the western side. So the east to them is the most important at the moment, which is why you're seeing DXavier make those flexes a little bit. Getting Killer Joe from down here probably has a vehicle up top that you can just send now, but yeah, for Tony K, this is an aggressive push and one that should be punished soon.
He's only got 9 ammo though. He's waiting. He can't take the spray.
I see.
This is the big issue. He's waiting to see teams or players start to take damage. Yeah, he has to change it out. Doesn't have any nades. Doesn't really have anything. Okay, that is hopeful, mate. Come on, pull the other one. Okay, down you come. Time for you to get back with the rest of your team. Meanwhile, oh, a nade from Regnum Kaya. They're down to 2 players blank.
That looks good.
Taken another one. The bounce not quite reaching the full distance. Oh dear, Regnum Kaya getting lit up though, and it is going to be Thunder Talk. Taking the shots is just Wild laying left now. 5 Elims blank on this match already. And Regnum Kaya up to 8 with 10 teams remaining though. The placement points aren't here yet. King with a pickup, and Thunder Talk gonna slither on out of there.
Vampire is down to DRX, no less. I do think for looking towards that side of the map there, John, I really like the way Thunder Talk played that one now. I mean, setting up AJ as that outpost on the outside gave them all the information that they'd ever need while still having a foot in the door of the circle. So any moment, Sighting could turn around, and then they send King in as a taxi driver. Just about makes it in, but Lazarus does not have a revival that he was looking for there.
Not quite, not quite. The water's a little bit too toasty, burning away that health bar. GOAT team now on that northwestern side. Regnum Kaya also will take the knee. And it's all, for me, I mean, it's a 3-way fight at this point in my mind. Maybe 4. We'll see who wins that western side. But Alpha 7, E-Arena, DXavier. These are the teams I'm looking at. Central, fairly controlling positions right now. I think Team Flash on the east side is going to have a real tough time. I think Thunder Talk are maybe going to have an even tougher time with a lineup that exists with E-Arena on the lookout.
I think E-Arena is struggling, to be quite frank with you.
You think?
Yeah, their escape from this location is not easy. It's very open. They can't really peek anything too much at the moment either. This spot right now from Thunder Talk is looking lovely. I mean, they've covered off really the only difficult angle for themselves on this left-hand side of your screen. Obviously, they want to get further in. DXavier is the prime suspect for a chicken dinner here.
Absolutely. Money's on them. And let's see if someone can change the fates. Team Flash, the rookies, the new bloods. They have made a name for themselves already. I mean, they were saying on the desk, oh, if they win, they'll be rookie team of the blank. They're already rookie team of the year.
Well, I think that's what Max was saying, that they are the rookie team of the year right now for him.
Maybe rookie team of all time if they're able to get the PMGC title.
Yeah, if they're able to do that, I think that'd be a very, very tough target to beat.
I mean, how can you do better than that?
Yeah.
That's going to help E-Arena, though. That shift.
That will help E-Arena. I mean, it's the removal of themselves from that location, which is hard, but luckily the circle coming down to them does keep them safe for a little bit longer, so now teams will have to venture into the E-Arena jungle slightly sooner than they might have liked.
Ooh. Go team trying to take shots. DRX giving it back. Spinning them around, trying to force them away. QXC putting pressure uphill. Killer Joe gets the heal off, looking to take up with those meds. His buggy's down and out now. Needs the backup of his team, needs the cover there. Maybe invest a smoke or two, but he's knocked, flushed. And Goat Team, do you really want to re-engage this now? I don't think so. They are going to fall back. Give ground, and DRX now have the numbers advantage, but neither team is in, and now the zone starts to close. Where do you go? Because DX Xavier holds such a great position. Oh, Thunder Talk, they're going for the rollout. A 1-forward on the trade, hold down behind the dugouts here. A Team Flash trying to hold their nerve, just cannot do it. In the face of the PEL, they are swept aside.
That is such a classic Thunder Talk thing to do. They play the game so methodically, and then all of a sudden they're ready just to rush you. And they absolutely will go for it. Insane stuff. Kraken still alive. The goat tails were turned and they ran.
But now DX Xavier maybe a little bit of a threat sent towards their way. Kraken has a little bit of time still up at the high ground, but no, he's seen. He's going out to the blue, tried to deny, not to be. E-Arena want that point, mate. That's going on their tallies. Goodness me. We're divvying up a lot of points here, Blank. No one on for a massive, massive Rondo game, but still, those 10 points to kick off PMGC would be tasty. And Alpha 7, they want to make it happen.
There's going to be some big profiteers, though, either way, off this game. Start off with 8 elims right now for Alpha 7. Looking to return to form, to become that fearsome team that demands respect from the rest of the lobby. I think Guizhou has been a wonderful addition to the squad. Really has had his big moments. Undoubtedly, you know, even if they win, he's probably going to be leaving the team after this, which will make me sad, but it will not make me surprised.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see.
I'm doing reverse psychology right now.
Yeah, okay, absolutely, yeah. They're never going to stick together, guys. No, can't happen. But right now, they definitely need to stick together as best they can. For Alpha 7, this next push is do or die. Top 3 on this fight. They've already had a good game, though. Every single team now has had a good game, except for DX Xavier on the points tally.
Would you call it do or die?
In terms of getting this game, I mean, not for their tournament. Not for their tournament, mate. Just
yeah,
this game.
I mean,
come on.
Look, man, if they do it, they do it. If they die, they die.
I mean, those are the two options.
you
die or you don't.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, John. Let's see how DX Xavier handle this, though, because it's a fight on 2 fronts. And I think that's hard. But any fight that DX Xavier takes, the other team is going to try and take advantage. This is always the difficulty when you are the central team and it's a little bit open, is that you are always going to incur the wrath of the third party. So DX Xavier needs to hit a 1-2 punch, but in both directions, they need to hit the 180 on both these squads.
Alpha 7, though, very lacking on utility there, Blank. They may have some smoke launchers, so maybe a little bit more smoke in the back pocket. But DX Xavier have got quite a lot of utility themselves. It's going to be difficult to roll up onto them. Sure, they need to land this 1-2 punch, but E-Arena are going to be funneled towards them. There's not too many approach routes that they can take, but Alpha 7 won't just immediately shred through them, which is going to force DX Xavier to play a fully linear fight. Sure, they'll be in the middle of the line, but as soon as E-Arena have to shift over to that north side, I think that's going to line them up nicely in nade range, potentially, to land for DX Xavier.
29 minutes we're coming up on right now. Very long game here for Rondo as well. Right off the wire, and again, to be honest with you, we always say this is a bit of a springboard, a bit of a trampoline. That first game of the day on Rondo, packing quite a few points into your backpack. So getting that done early is lovely. 10 nades right now for E-Arena. When are we going to start throwing them?
I think they're waiting for Alpha 7 to move. They're laying up the smoke. They don't want to break north. They're going west instead. But immediately, I mean, that's what I was so worried about. They tried to get the smoke cover there, but it's just not going to happen. Immediately torn apart by Alpha 7. Alpha 7 may choose this to be go time because they know they've done damage. They know they've slowed eArena's roll. They won't have the sightlines. Revel looks for the pickup. That could have been the opener. That would have definitely sent them down the hill. But Alpha 7 going to have to play a little bit slower.
Hello.
Xavier nades up top. Oh, so close. Not quite going the distance though. And Alpha 7 stay as 4.
Honestly, at the moment, eArena needs to start taking knocks and flushes. At the moment, they aren't able to get their players back up again. For Xavier, that's bad news. Mafioso going down is lovely. Steal away by Paragin, though, by no less.
Well, they do need the points. They'll try and take them. 2 players now remaining for eArena and a nade uphill from Xavier. Carrillo and Revo now, the last 2 players, are going to be standing up top, but Alpha 7 go down to a volley of fire, and Xavier stand tall. They will survive in the middle. Carrillo the last to go, and the bullets are whizzing over his head. Levi's now treads on out. eArena are not done just yet. Tourniquet still behind. Could cause problems, but with 4 players alive on the Xavier roster, Alpha 7 fall. eArena on their knees. Xavier, they kick it off with our first chicken dinner.
Spider Bite at the beginning of the game here, at the beginning of the tournament. Incredible stuff from Xavier. Again, a team that's very controlling when it comes through to those late games. A really outstanding performance. Again, I do think that eArena makes a slight mistake there, is that what they should have done is started throwing nades over towards Xavier. You got to hope for that initial knock, for then Alpha 7 to try and get some presence there. I think for them to try and wrap on Alpha 7 was really over-aggressive. I'm not really sure, honestly. I don't think that was the right play, though.
I'll tell you what was the right play. Xavier having a really strong spot in the middle, you know? When all else fails, just get good positions, you know? What can you do? Either way, brilliant kickoff. Xavier with the first chicken dinner. Let's head back to the desk.
Xavier, get the chicken dinner right off the rip here, man. They got that center position, and they put it to work, man.
A really good road plateau position. They go there a little bit earlier compared to the rest of the lobby. And you know what? That plateau is great. To the east, it's low ground. To the west, it's high ground. All the teams kind of fighting over the ridge. So they stay alive until the very bitter end of that game. And those smokes, Seven. Those smokes to clear their back, make sure eArena can't backstab you while you're pushing onto Alpha 7. Now that is perfect usage of smokes in that scenario.
It really is. I'm just impressed with DX timing right here. They waited for the right moment. They saw that they were actually, Alpha 7 was taking a fight with eArena. Noticed that right away and just moved out. What it looked like to be, honestly, an easy win for DX, they made that win happen at the end.
I mean, Levi's in particular, he's like, oh, I just eliminated all of Alpha 7 with my teammates. Well, I'm going to use Alpha 7's position as a launching point to eliminate all of eArena and secure the game. Every step of that finishing moment here from Xavier was so well executed. The IGLing, amazingly executed.
And something to keep in mind too, look at the eliminations from this squad. What were we talking about at the beginning of the show? We're talking about some of those squads being able to get high eliminations. For this squad, they were in the position, honestly, that didn't allow them to get those eliminations, Max. They do end up there with just 8.
Unfortunately, the road plateau mid-game, I think you are not able to get involved in those fights because of how the terrain works out. So I'm okay with them getting a low elimination game. They're like, it's all we fight now and maybe go out early, or we get in a position that we know we easily make it top 5, maybe even top 3, and we can even compete for that chicken dinner, which in this case it works out. And because they get the win, it kind of offsets the low elimination match here on Rondo.
Yeah, speaking of fight timing, right? Alpha 7. Those guys, I kid you not, they had so many opportunities to take an easy third party, but they just sat so stealthy there, 7 at the start.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about Alpha 7. The first and main one has to be Obscure, not playing in this round though. It's actually Mafioso. For most of PMGC League stage, it ended up Mafioso being just the sub. For this first game, Mafioso steps in, and even though he doesn't end up with a lot of eliminations, he was doing everything right that we've seen out of Mafioso, making sure he didn't overextend, making sure he set up those plays for the team. And going back, I want to mention the fight that was happening between RA and Mad Bulls, and then APG third party in that fight. Alpha 7 could have maybe overlooked Max and see if they could maybe get a cheeky elimination. No, they were fully focused on their game, and this is a completely different team for Alpha 7. We're used to seeing that team be a little bit more aggressive, even if it's from far away, trying to get those eliminations.
A Brazilian team not playing aggressive? Excuse me? What's going on? Look, really, they saw that fight you're talking about to the west. You had Mad Bulls, you had R8, you had APG. But like, it's not really worth it. Let's prioritize position instead. And you know what? That position gets them in the podium position of this match. I love how passive they were, which is weird to say on the Rondo game. I do have to admit that. But I think that in that position with the circle continuously moving away from them, they played it beautifully. And this is the Alpha 7 that can play big, aggro, high elimination games, also more passive finishes to make sure they have that podium going their way.
And the awareness too, something that they ended up noticing, they were thinking about maybe going for a fight with E Arena towards the southeast just to clear that south, but they realized that DRX was going to be pushing up. So what did they end up doing? They end up getting their players more towards the north, stopping that push because DRX was coming in hot. And I mean, DRX timing around this game was actually quite nice.
I mean, DRX had a good timing until the moment where they got a little bit indecisive. They had Goat Team north of them, they had to the east Xavier, and they had Alpha 7 here. Hodrix, I was looking at DRX like, okay, well, you push Alpha 7. And they kept delaying it so much, in fact, that the Blue Zone became their biggest enemy in this one, which makes you so easy to nade for the entirety of Alpha 7.
Yeah, I mean, beautiful game from them. And you know what? I love the fact that, they were playing it passive, but they weren't afraid to also get into some fights, right? Early on, they caught Flash on that recall max, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a very interesting one, able to try and get yourself some early eliminations for Alpha 7. They're like, if there's a solo, it's possibly a recall strat. Let's try and get him before he pulls off the recall, which unfortunately for them did not happen, but still some nice ones coming out their way. Though, I want to pivot the topic here.
Yeah.
Goat Team, Killer Joe on top of that rock pillar.
But
good strat, but underlooted as hell. He had barely any bullets left at the end. He had one grenade. I think even got to the point where he was trying to emergency cover flare players below him.
That was the best.
That does not work out too often. So if you want to send a play up there, 7, just loot the hell out of the early game.
I mean, he was looking at VP, just push up towards his squad, and just with 9 bullets left on the gun, he's just like, do I go for it? I thought he was actually going to end up tapping, at least just cause some damage. Make him back off. No, he just goes, all right,
with
well,
the S2K.
and then he switches to the S2K. Let's see if this will hit. We got a pop from the crowd on that one. They started laughing. But yeah, overall, great positioning, great awareness for Goat Team. They did that 3-1 split wonderfully. Something that you ended up mentioning during that match is that they did have Goat, that Killer, pretty much on the top, letting him play, letting him just scope out everything. The other 3 players towards the north of where Killer Joe was, and just seeing where it was going to be going. But yeah, I'm with you. Just way too underlooted there for Killer Joe.
Oh my gosh, I just love those shots of frustration. You have to at least try one time to see if it hits, right? I love that. But I want to go a little bit earlier into the match, right? We were thinking we were going to have a crazy Neox Factory hot drop, right? And it didn't happen here, 7. Why do you think that was?
I think some of the other teams decided to go elsewhere. We ended up seeing some fighting there from RA, Vampire. That's just something that from Vampire, I mean, even if we take a step back, for Vampire, I feel like the first 3 matches, and let me know if you agree with me on this, Max, I feel like the first 3 matches are going to be a warm-up. This is a squad that's coming in cold. They haven't really played any of the PMGC League stage. They were able to, I think, at least secure a couple eliminations here as we're looking at the match ranking. But overall, surprising RA. And one thing that actually surprised me was we continue to see the aggressiveness. That firepower that we saw out of RA in the gauntlet is still there. They don't get any placement points, but they end up with 8 eliminations.
Bro, Omori in that fight was clutch, especially with those grenades. He's able to really claim so much space in that particular compound versus the team of Mad Bulls. Even APG, right? They're able to clutch it up almost, but Ziol is able to get the nail in the coffin. Second page of the leaderboards. And yeah, D plus Kia taking an L this game, but not only just taking an L to none other than Regnum Kara. Now that is revenge, and it's beautiful.
Oh man, I was so sad that we missed that fight, but I get it, right? I mean, Zone 4, that circle shifts up to the north. The Regnum Kara were outside of the circle, but with that hard shift, they go and take that northern position, but they end up with that fight with D+ and end up taking them out.
Actually, it's very interesting because they were both in circle, like, okay, we don't have to fight.
Yep.
But we want to.
Yeah.